for me, you can either be a customer-focused business or you're not a customer-focused business. You either believe in it or you don't believe in it. And the truth is that why do you think we were so customer-focused? We had this thing, is it because we love the customer? Is it because, no, it's not. It's because it works. Financially, it works. I am not the greatest person with customers, but I know that a customer service approach is crucial to building a long-term business. If you want to be in short term and you don't want to grow a business long term, then you can get away with all sorts. You see it on, say, the front at Blackpool, where there's really not a lot of customer service in handing out an ice cream because they're never going to see them again. But for most businesses where you've got a core customer base, you really want to work with them. So let's go back to that business model I was talking about. For me, the best business model I've ever heard of in my life is a business that has a high profit margin product that people want to buy, or maybe better still need to buy, but want to buy over and over again. Then all you have to do is market it better than anybody else. So you can take that. So that then breaks down into that there are three elements to a business. The product, right? So let's take it that you have a high profit margin product. So that's the product that people want to buy. That still is the product and want to buy over and over again. That's where service comes into it, because that you want them to come back to you and your business to buy whatever the product is you've got. Then you have to market it better than anybody else. So you've got the product, you've got the customer service, and you've got the marketing. And those three things need to work hand in hand. There is no point in having a brilliant customer service if the product's no good. There's no good having great customer service and great marketing if the product's no good. There's no point in having a great product if the customer service and the marketing lets it down. So those three things have to work in balance. They have to have, so if your product is superb, so first of all, you've got to work on your product. So as you know, that our industry was caravan parks. So you might think, okay, so what is the product of a caravan park? Well, the product of a caravan park is probably to sell a caravan. But that's the hard product. Right, you can go into all the marketing stuff, it's lifestyle, it's this, which is exactly what it is, because if somebody wanted to really buy a caravan, they'd go and buy the cheapest caravan they could, stick it in their back garden. So it's not the caravan, it is the lifestyle that it gives them. But we then looked at the product, and it's then building that product up. So as you know, we were the only park in Britain to offer a money-back guarantee on a very expensive product. And that really took some doing, fathoming out how we could do it. So we actually in the end offered 2 money-back guarantees. One was if you didn't, within owning the home for 3 months, it didn't work out for you, then we would offer to resell the home and return 100% of the money back to you. So that at least meant we didn't have to shell the whole money out. We had the opportunity to sell. We didn't know how long it would take to sell it, but it was in our interest to sell it quick because the caravan was depreciating. And if they bought it for, say, £40,000, we had to give them the £40,000 back. Then the second guarantee we gave them, so with the first guarantee in almost 20 years, if we had 3 people take us up on it, that was all. Because we had the product right. If the product was crap, you would have had a lot more take up. So the product, so as you know at Aberconway there, there was all sorts. I mean, there was the health club, and there was the spa, and there was the Michelin restaurants, and there was and all that. So that all was to do with the product. So the product was rubbish, But I was always told that if you can't put a money-back guarantee to your product, you've got to change your product. Right. You've got to change your product. Right. Everybody should offer a money-back guarantee. So the second money-back guarantee we had, which was taken up a lot more, was that if after 3 months you found that you felt you'd chosen the wrong home, you could trade back up. So you would get back that 40,000 and use it to trade up. Couldn't trade down, you could trade up. So that created a very interesting thing within the sales team, because the sales team then, instead of trying to sell the most expensive home, would say to them, well, listen, if you're torn between two, go for the cheaper one, because you can trade up to that without guarantee. And to the customer, that came over really good, that instead of them wanting to take every penny from us, you know, that was very good. Now that is I think customer service based. You know, do I like the customer? Struggled an awful lot. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not the greatest person, therefore I was not the person, the face of the company. You know your strengths and weaknesses, and the customer was not my biggest strength. Long term, take a long-term vision. And that in this day and age is getting more and more difficult. We talked about it on the way down, that I've had many startup businesses now, and I've never failed with one. And to me, startup is one of the easiest businesses, because you're not taking existing problems and having to deal with them. So startup business, I can choose whichever customers I want. But one of so there's a very simple recipe for a startup business. And it is literally like baking a cake. If you follow that recipe, it will work for you. There's no question about it. One of the downsides is you need absolute ample funding. And you need to know you can get through at least 3 years before you have to turn your attention to making yourself profitable. So in those first 3 years, you are setting out your stall. You are saying, this is what happens. This is the sort of thing I'm going to go with my guarantees. I'm going to do. You build it, so you take a long-term vision. Now, one of the worries now that probably young people like yourself are facing is that our source of finance years ago, the banks, seem to have shut the doors. And it's like, well, now what the hell do we do? Because it is an absolute crucial part of any startup business that you have ample funding. And I think we will find things. You know, you're looking at crowdfunding now, and you're looking at other alternatives of people who would want to get involved in things like that. Well, I would say, and I've used this phrase before, that I think running a business is handling just a series of problems. The problems just don't go away. They just are different. And so you had problems 25 years ago that were totally different to problems we had just before we sold the business, but they were problems. And that is the thing. So a little bit then, like, we're going to get back into the things that, again, that we've discussed, but we're sharing now. And that is consistency. So one of the best books I could ever recommend on business and on customer service is Raving Fans by Ken Blanchard, which is a very simple to read book. It's written a bit like a fairy tale, but the message is just so good, which is, you first of all have the right to choose your customer. And so many people get that wrong. So many people just think, I got to get every customer I possibly can. Wrong. Be selective. Go to the 80-20 rule. 80% of your customers are probably only giving you 20% of your profit. 20% of your customers are probably giving you 80% of your headaches. So you look at that. You have the right to choose your customer. Then you want to look at your systems and to create consistency. You've got to have consistency. You can't have one customer having the best experience of a lifetime and the other one not. You've got to have consistency, and systems do that.